Hello, it's Lynn Ann Galloway, and today's session is on do essential oils work for relieving fibromyalgia pain? And being as I've experienced that, I would say yes, but it's certainly certain ones, and we will talk about that. Now, who is Lynn Ann? Lynn Ann is, I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia probably 20 plus years ago. I was working as a nurse, and I actually was able to, using with the essential oils, able to continue to work as a nurse. And because I'm sure the rest of you are aware, you feel like you've been run over by a truck. And back when I was diagnosed, before I was diagnosed, and when I was first diagnosed, I had children at home. My children range 8 years and span. So I had teenagers as well as little ones. And so I was a busy mom. I worked full time, and I had quite a responsible job at the time too, which of course had a little bit of stress. So I tried medications, they didn't work. So we looked at trying some other stuff. Actually, let me say my daughter intrigued me to try some essential oils because she knew that nothing else was working. And being a nurse, that was a little bit difficult for me because back 25 years ago, essential oils, and sometimes even today, people think essential oils are woo-woo. And there wasn't much scientific data done at that time. It was and I wasn't really sure they would work. Anyhow, I tried them, they worked, and it's been awesome. And I've been able to work full time since then. I'm actually retired now, but I did work. I'm back to enjoying life again. So yes, I would say they do. Now let's talk a little bit about what they are. So to start with, I'm not diagnosing or prescribing. As an adult, you can make your own decisions. If you have health concerns with using essential oils, when we get through with this, and you aren't sure about it, you can contact your healthcare professional. The essential oils that I'm going to be talking about today for pain have been approved for natural health products in Canada. Other countries have different rules and designations, so you need to check with that. But I'm going to talk, I'm a Canadian, I'm talking from the Canadian aspect and what's considered a natural health product in Canada, and Young Living has had them approved for that. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So what is chronic pain? Well, I don't need to tell you about chronic pain. It's basically pain that's been over 3 months. Pain varies from person to person, particularly with fibromyalgia people. Some days are good, some days are bad, some days are horrible. It can be, well, basically what happens is the pain starts in the receptor nerve beneath the skin or in the organs, and it sends a message to the brain saying you're having pain. Now, with chronic pain, it goes along the spinal cord, etc. The chronic pain piece means, in my opinion, is that you've developed a pathway of pain to the brain and back and forth, and it gets a heavy, good pathway, and it doesn't know enough to stop, and you keep having the pain. So for me, I feel like using the essential oils interrupted that pain path and helped. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I did have a cycle of pain, being depressed, irritable. Actually, I was very difficult to live with, and I do feel sorry for my family having to been living with me back in that time, because I was depressed, I was irritable, I was in a lot of pain. I woke up in the mornings feeling like I had been run over by a truck, so that was not a great way to start today. So I would say that that's probably where a lot of you are at. You have difficulty doing your normal activities of living, and if you can interrupt that, that helps. So what is our essential oil? So let's talk a little bit about essential oils. What are essential oils? They are, they carry the nutrients in the plant, and they're a lot stronger than herbs, because really herbs is what's left after the essential oils get out. And a lot of a lot of essential oils, quality makes a difference, and we're going to talk a little bit about that different later. But if you have a good quality essential oil, it will have vibrations. It will, our body, when we're ill or have pain, our body's vibration is lower. And if you know what it's like when you're out in, get outside near the ocean, near the trees, how you feel much better. Because the essential oils are from plants, they also have a vibration. And again, that vibration will raise your vibration up when you use them. Now, how do you use them? You can inhale them. You can use them topically, which means you put them on your skin. Essential oils are very minute. So you'll want to make sure that you, I guess, they go in. You can feel them in your body wherever. So if you might want to use a carrier oil when you're putting them on. Inhalation, again, it goes right into, you inhale it in, it goes into your amygdala, which is in the center part of your brain, which is where your emotions are. So sometimes essential oils will trigger emotions. That's why they work so wonderfully. Essential oils, actually, you know, it's a lot more known now. But they've been used for many, many years for both pain and inflammations. And a lot of essential oils have a lot of the same properties as the pharmaceutical analgesics. Now, interestingly, originally, when they first started doing some analgesics pharmaceutically, they used essential oils. And now, of course, they've got away from that and use chemical compounds in the labs. Anyhow. And certainly some of the essential oils, that's why I say you need to check your quality, because some of them, if they've been made in the lab, aren't going to have the same effect as essential oils of good quality that are from a good plant. So a couple of quick tips about essential oils. When you use them, you want to dilute them with a carrier oil. By that, I mean a carrier oil isn't like olive oil, coconut oil, for example. Those are a couple of types of carrier oils you can use, and they have essential oils are very tiny molecules, and they can go through your skin or inhale really quickly, right? They go right through to the brain, whereas the carrier oils are a larger molecule, and it does not go through your skin. So then by diluting your essential oil with that, it helps to slow down that so it doesn't irritate your skin. Of course, if you're inhaling it, you don't use a carrier oil. This is just if you're putting it on you directly. And you can always just do a little test if you want to see if you are going to experience any irritation. And certainly you don't want to put essential oils in your eye or around your eye. Keep away from them. I always say a raccoon, and nothing in the ears or in private areas, because some oils are very hot. So I use Young Living oils. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's what's approved for Canada as healthcare, as a natural healthcare product, a natural health product. It's listed as that. Now, why do I use Young Living? I have used other oils. I have found that with Young Living, I can trust them. I've been to the farms. I've seen how much testing they actually do, making sure that the seed is from a good plant, that the soil isn't contaminated with herbicides or pesticides. And they do lots of things to do weeding that's innovative and doesn't give any harmful chemicals in the thing. So what does it matter? Because if you using grounds that have herbicides or pesticides on them, it does get into the oils, and then it does get into your system, because as we said, it's a very tiny molecule and it does get into your system. So you want to be very careful about how that happens. Young Living is very meticulous. They do testing, grounds, plants, the oil when it's distilled, and before they bottle it, they do tons of testing. They have expensive labs that do all these testings to make sure that the oil we get is high quality and will do what we expect it to do. So that would be the other thing they do testing for, is making sure it's got the right constituents in it. What that means, like for example, peppermint needs to have so much menthol in it to actually do what you expect it to do. Wintergreen and cypress are other oils that have a certain amount that you would expect it to be in. In fact, this last little while we didn't have wintergreen because it didn't have the constituents in it in the batches that came. Now, sometimes that's related to, because it's farming, it can be related to the weather and not getting the weather that you expect to, or the water, etc. So that's a little bit why I've chosen to use Young Living, because I can trust what I'm getting. So let's talk about some of the oils that do. Lavender is probably the one that is the most common known and used. It has a calming effect on the brain and the body. And it also relieves the pain in your muscles and joints. In 2015, there was a study done that showed that the inflammatory and analgesic properties were effective as any pharmaceutical ones. So yeah, and there you go. And they certainly did it's great for relieving headaches, as well as treating back pain and symptoms of fibromyalgia. It's a great oil to use. It's probably one of the most popular one, and it's been used for many, many centuries for migraines and headaches. It contains compounds that help to, like a mild sedative, so it reduces stress and anxiety. So if you have, some people have stress and that triggers their pain, this would be an excellent oil to use for that. So in 2015, they found that the researchers found that applying the essential oil of lavender topical, so they rubbed it on, for pain was as effective as any of the pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories and analgesics. So also it's been used for people recovering from surgery, as well as migraine, headaches, and lower back pain, and neck pain. So what you do for it, you can, couple things you can do. You can put it in a diffuser and let the oil, now you don't want to use one that's burned, because that changes the molecules. You want one that diffuses either direct into the air, the molecules, or through with water. Or you can rub a couple drops on you. That's the other way you can do in the areas of where you are, or you could just put a couple drops on your hand and then rub them together 3 times and inhale. And that will go right in through your brain and do some relaxing. Okay, let's talk about the next one, which is marjoram or marjoram. I'm not really. So this one is definitely a sedative and anti-inflammatory. It helps with pain and headaches, migraines. There's the doctors from WebMed report that marjoram oil is used for headaches, migraines, and nerve pain. So this is a good one if you have some nerve pain, and a lot of people do. It also is great for digestive discomfort, because it, especially if you're having stomach cramps, it does it relaxes the smooth muscle, and it can be useful in getting rid of chronic neck pain as well. And if you really, they did a study using marjoram, black pepper, lavender, and peppermint in equal amounts for 4 weeks, and those people had significant improvement in that study. Alrighty, so I think not only did I tell you that I was a nurse, I also did do my integrated aromatic science practitioner, which means that I also did learn how to use the essential aromatherapy or essential oils in different modalities. And some of the people that were in our classes, that in the course that I took, was psychiatrists, psychologists, massage therapists, and nurses. And of course I was taking it so I could integrate it into my nursing practice. So Cypress is another one. And according to the National Institute of Neurology Disorders, Strokes, their study did one on restless leg syndrome. And I know lots of people with fibromyalgia tend to have the restless leg syndrome. And of course you can't go to sleep, and then you have daytime fatigue, etc. So applying Cypress on your legs tend to relax reduces the muscles. And the other thing Cypress does is increases circulation. So again, that helps with the spasms. So sometimes cramps, which is usually what we call is excess of lactate acid. So if you put these Cypress on there, it helps to to do that, because cypress also has diuretic effects too. So doing that will help with in the discomfort. So our next one is clove. Clove is a very hot oil. You want to make sure that you do use it with a carrier oil. It is very hot. It's used for joint and muscle pain in Canada, for specifically sprains, strains, and arthritis. And it is, as I said, very hot oil. Now, as you probably know, I know as a child, I had the opportunity to have a toothache once in a while, and my mom would give me a clove bud and tell you to bite on it. So clove, as used for pain, probably more so years ago, is as for dental pain. But it is a very hot oil. It's a very effective oil. Helichrysum is a wonderful oil. It's also is very powerful pain reliever. And how it works is it reduces the inflammatory enzymes, and it also kills off any of the free radicals. So that helps with the inflammation pieces. And then it reduces swelling. Now, the other thing it does is it also is very good for nerve pain. Particularly chronic pain related to nerves, it is really exceptionally good for that. And it's also good for reducing, preventing bruising as well. Anyways, it is a very expensive oil, and I will talk about some blends that it's in, that helichrysum is in, that makes it a little bit cheaper to use, but it certainly is very effective. And if you have, most people with fibromyalgia do have some type of nerve pain, so that might, making sure you have something that has helichrysum in them is good, or marjoram. So peppermint is a great oil for treating arthritis and intestinal problems. And the reason because is because it's antispasmodic, which means it reduces cramps, it stops the spasms, and it's anti-inflammatory. Menthol, of course, is known to relax and ease tension headaches, as well as muscles aches and pains. So now peppermint is also a natural decongestant. So when you inhale it, it can, I like it for making me feel alert. And it is great for, my husband uses this one again on his knees, as well as wintergreen. We'll get to wintergreen. So tension headaches, of course, it's great for. You just put it, but you can put it on your temple or across here. Just make sure you don't get near your eyes, because this is one of the ones, if you happen to have oils on your eyes and on your hands, and you get them into your eyes accidentally because you go to rub them, then use a carrier oil, and that will take away. Water will not take it away. It'll make it worse. They've done studies that it was with these peppermint, that it was very effective for irritable bowel syndrome. And I know often people with fibromyalgia also have irritable bowel syndrome. So just again, you put a few, 2 or 3 drops on your palm of your hand with some carrier oil, and rub it on your abdomen, and you will notice a difference as well for it. Our next one is wintergreen, and it's been around for many, many years and used for chronic pain, specifically for arthritis, osteoarthritis, muscle aches, stiffness, joint stiffness. And it's been used for many years. In fact, you probably, if you smell wintergreen, you'll recognize it as it's been in lots of ointments for arthritis, etc. Now, the good thing about it is it doesn't have the side effects that our analgesics can have. It has studies show that it has as equivalent as effective as aspirin. And particularly if you massage it on your back, if you have lower back pain, it's really very effective on that. That's where they did the studies. Now you're thinking, okay, you talked about all these oils. I don't know which one to use, or where do I get this one or that one? Well, Coolazul is a pain relief cream. Now, I'm not sure it's in every country, but it definitely is in Canada and the US. And it has in it the peppermint and the wintergreen, which we've already talked about, that are great. And it does, it interrupts the pain message to the brain, is how it works. And you just rub it on. It's a cream. And let's see what I hear. It's just like it is just a bit of a cream. I don't know if, can you see that? Anyhow, I don't know, a little bit of a cream, put a little bit on here. It's just a cream and you don't need very much of it. And you just can just rub it on the area wherever you have pain. So another one that you can use if you don't prefer an oil, Deep Relief is a blend of peppermint, wintergreen, Dora, Druzel, helichrysum, all of which are known for their soothing and long-lasting effects for relaxing, as well as for topical for joint and muscle pain, like it's Deep Relief. What can I say? So this is a good one if you certainly have any issues around nerve pain. You want to use this one. Relieve It is a blend, is another blend. So it has several oils in it. It has black pepper, peppermint, hyssop, and black spruce. Now, black pepper we talked about, and peppermint, both which are great for pain, muscle and joint pain. And you would put it on topically. Definitely this one you are going to want to make sure that you put some carrier oil with it, because it also has black pepper in it, which is hot. And it also is good for digestive issues and headaches. And for those ones, you would inhale it. The other ones you put on topically for pain. Panaway is a blend of essential oils of clove, wintergreen, helichrysum, and of peppermint. Now, it's interesting that in Canada, it is not listed as a natural health product, even though every single one of those oils are listed as a natural health product. Now, this is the one that I use because the other ones weren't formulated yet 23 years ago when I started, 22 years ago. So when I started using oils, I use this one a lot. I put a lot of it on, and I'm going to tell you that putting it on once does not work. I did that first with my daughter when she introduced me to the essential oils, and I said, yeah, that's not happening. It doesn't work. And then she, next time she was down to see me, she put some of them on. We did a bit more with them, and yes, I was pain-free for several days. So that's how I got into using the essential oils. So Panaway is not listed as a natural health product, but all the oils that are in it are. And I did find I would put it on maybe, and just like a analgesic, that internal one that you would take, the Panaway, I would rub on the areas maybe every 3 hours, every 4 hours, and so maybe I only had to do it a couple of times a day. And then finally I didn't use it all. I probably still have the same bottle of Panaway that I've had for 5 years. Like, I rarely ever use it anymore because I don't need it. I was able to interrupt that pain cycle so that I don't have pain. It's basically what I'm saying. Now, there is recipes. This is one of the recipes I have used, which it has peppermint, lavender, black pepper, Deep Relief, and clove in it, and with some other oils in it. And then you can make it as a paste and put it on. I will just hold, or you can stop and may take a screenshot of that if you want to. Now, I would say if you're not interested in mucking around with stuff, getting the Cool Azul or one of these other blends would be your best option. Now, a lot of people have depression. That's really what I also had. So I also, with my essential oils, or with the pain ones, I also use this one. It's an aroma that brings joy to the heart. I was very depressed. I've seen this one lift people up within, 15, 20 minutes. I for many years I use it as a perfume. I still use this oil because I just love it, and it makes me feel really good. It has a lot of flower oils in it, like rose, geranium, ylang ylang. It's got quite a few of them in it. So that would be, if you have issues around the pain bringing you down, this would be a good one, because you also want to raise yourself up so that you feel better. So the other one is Stress Away. Now, sometimes for people, stress is a big trigger for triggering a flare, or even just keeping you in the pain mode. So if that is the case, if you are having a lot of stress in your life, this is probably an oil that you want to also add in, because it is great for relieving stress. It's very calming. You can diffuse it. I have people that use it when they drive a vehicle because it's stressful for them. I use it a lot for, I used it a lot when I was at work. I'm retired now, or if I'm doing presentations, I will use it because it helps with the stress piece of it. or if you're going into a situation that you feel stressful or an interaction that might feel stressful. So it has, the lavender, of course, is very relaxing, and it smells nice because it's got vanilla in it and acacia and lime, and that makes it really, it's a lovely smell. You can use it as a perfume. It's very, very calming. If you have kids, it's a great oil. People that are upset. So what's next? So in summary, like, sure, I give you lots of oils, but probably if you don't want to do mucking around or using certain ones or finding out which one works for you, I would suggest you try the cream, which has the peppermint and the wintergreen in it, or the deep relief, which has helichrysum and relieve it. And definitely, if you have any nerve involvement, you'll want to use Panaway or the deep relief because they have helichrysum in them. If you're feeling down, you'll want to add the joy. And if you are stressed as a trigger, you'll want to add the stress away. So what about these? Now, I would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because I do lots of tips around managing fibromyalgia naturally. And in the description, there are some ways to get more information. And here is if you want to place an order. And yes, I do receive commission for this, and I appreciate you supporting me for continuing to do the YouTubes. And if you're not really sure and have some questions, please send me a private message. My contact information is below. Have an awesome day, and may you learn to be pain-free.